The Marseillaise sounded for Romain Fevre, and the French fans cheered their hero on the podium at the 7th round of the FIM World Mxgp Motocross Championship in Saint-Jean-d'Angely. But unfortunately, the joy was short-lived, as a punitive transfer from Jeremy Seewer ruined the French party. What happened? After Fevre's victory in Saturday's rainy qualifying, in which he battled the pain of a thumb injury sustained in that morning's practice, the Frenchman was less optimistic about further success on Sunday morning. The reason for this, it's hard to believe, was the blue sky that greeted teams, drivers, and fans on yesterday's race day. Yes, you read that right. Romain Fevre, who is currently in 3rd place in the table, would have been more happy about a wet track. In the first run, the man with starting number 3 got a clear hole shot, and although he gave up the lead due to a hard block pass from Tim Geiser in the first lap, he fought his way back to the Honda driver in the final phase. However, as the pain in his thumb took its toll, he had to settle for 3rd place with 3 laps to go.
When it started to rain again during the break between races, he told his team, "This is what I need." And so a gala performance from the Frenchman followed, who not only got the 2nd hole shot of the day, but also led the race for a long time. Only in the last lap did Fevre have to admit defeat to the charging Jeffrey Herlings. The drama began. Amazed by the cheers of the thousands of fans, the Kawasaki rider only realized shortly after crossing the finish line that his closest rival for victory, Tim Geiser, fell a few laps before the checkered flag and thus lost positions that could have been enough for victory. So nothing stood in the way of a French party after the race, and Fevre took the podium as overall winner of the Mxgp class, gave interviews and celebrated. Fevre had done the math without the FIM because on the way to the obligatory press conference, he was informed that Geiser was the winner because 2 riders had been moved 2 places back due to a rule violation. Unfortunately, these drivers were directly in front of Geiser, which meant that the Slovenian received the necessary points that were enough for him to win the day. The bad thing was that teammate Jeremy Seewer was one of the culprits who ignored a waved yellow flag and thus made Geiser's success possible. "It's a shame about the penalty, but that's the rules, and that's how it is," said Jeremy Seewer after the race. While there are rules, the question remains why officials waited so long to tell Fevre the decision. Nevertheless, the Kawasaki rider has shown that he is still one of the hot things in the title fight and will want to show with a certain amount of anger in the Mxgp of Germany in 2 weeks that he can fight for victory. He is currently 29 points behind the new leader Tim Geiser, who was able to take over the red plate from Jorge Prado once again. The 7th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship in Saint-Jean-d'Angely left a bitter aftertaste at Yamaha. MX2 driver Thibault Benistant crashed heavily during qualifying yesterday Saturday and, contrary to initial statements, suffered a much more serious injury in addition to bruises. The Frenchman was immediately taken to the local medical centre, where no fractures or serious injuries were initially found. However, upon closer inspection, a small fracture was discovered in his C5 vertebra. Nevertheless, we were able to find Benistant in the paddock again today, visibly marked by the violent departure, but on his feet. The 22-year-old, who was 4th in the MX2 championship standings, will have to sit out indefinitely according to his team. Over the next few weeks, Benistant will work closely with a team of medical experts in Lyon, France.